Every now and again, a game comes out that brings back into the spotlight the discussion around difficulty in video games. Should all video games have the ability to be played on a story mode, which pretty much negates the difficulty? Or should people just get better at video games or play other video games? And in the case of Returnal by Housemarque, folks are wondering if the game should have a more forgiving save system. So in this video, we're just going to talk about how video game difficulties handle, some of my thoughts on what I think should be done to negate these problems, and just rant about how difficulty in video games affects me and how it might affect you as well. And if you'd like to hop around the different sections of this discussion, they're all laid out as chapters in the description below. For the sake of keeping on topic, let's talk about Returnal and the overall approach it takes to difficulty. Returnal's pretty unforgiving. I mean, the controls are really snappy, and thankfully I feel like it's really fair when it comes to the hitboxes. It makes sense when you get hit and when you take damage, to me at least. I don't think the game has an unfair difficulty in the gameplay. I think what really winds up happening is you put a lot of time into the progress of the game and you have to put your PlayStation down. Maybe you want to play something different, but you really can't because Returnal sort of takes your console hostage. Back before video games always had a save system or even passwords, you had to sort of just leave your console running and hope that nobody kicked it by accident and hope that nobody shut it off, and then you would lose your progress. Returnal sort of turns that into its main difficulty application. If you need to do something else, you have to put the console in sleep mode, that's fine. But if you want to go play some Destiny like I might, you can't do that unless you want to forfeit your run. And while that sounds like an oversight, I'm fairly certain that it is completely by design. Since the story of Returnal is based around cycles and living the same life over and over and over again, I really don't think it would have made sense for them to have you pause in between one of these cycles and come back after playing something else. It's a bit heavy-handed, but I'm sure that it was intentional, and I'm sure that it's gonna leave a lot of people feeling a little left out. Let's create a bit of a scenario. You just bought Returnal after seeing some really cool trailers for the game. You thought to yourself, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. I love fighting aliens, and I think that spacesuit looks pretty cool. The world looks pretty cool. Yeah, I wanna play this video game. You've bought into the fiction of the game, which is a perfectly acceptable reason to buy a game. So you've loaded the game up, you've installed it, you're ready to go, and it stops you and says a lot about the difficulty. So suddenly, players who might consider themselves more casual, just in it for the story, are now faced with this decision: do I want to play this harder than average game? Am I going to have the patience and the skill to get through this experience? So the biggest issue I have with the way Returnal presents its difficulty to you is that there was no demo for the game. In recent history, certain games have released demos that let you play it 1 or 2 times through before saying, all right, you've had your fun. If you liked what you did, go buy the game. If not, you tried our game out and now you can't play it anymore. And I think that's a great way to onboard somebody to the experience that they're not sure if they want to buy into yet. I personally love demos for video games, and I really think it's great that we've got the technology now to limit people from abusing that demo. I mean, don't get me wrong, I miss the days when you could just play that one level in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the PS1 demo disc and just not buy the game. And that was the best part of having demo discs, is that you could kind of get your fill without having to buy games. But of course, I guess some executive decided that they were actually losing money on this when they were probably not losing money on it at all, and demos kind of fell to the wayside. But like I said, they are starting to make a comeback in a smarter way. And just bringing it back around, games that have a higher than normal difficulty should really always have a demo. Why not let the player see if they can actually wrap their head around the mechanics? Is this the kind of game that they're gonna wanna learn and master? Because I'll be honest with you, there are certain games that I specifically don't play to be good at. I just play to get through it or play to be in that world. And Returnal presents the player with a very cool world to explore. The main character's plot is mysterious and very interesting so far. The enemies are weird and horrifying, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, they're really simple, but also very powerful, and they make me feel very small. And the overall movement of the game is stupid good. It's so fluid, very nice to play. So yeah, Returnal's just a good game, but this hurdle, like I said, might deter some players. Should it? No, my opinion is that you can get good at games over time, but there are certain players that just don't want to do that. It's not always fun to beat your head against a game that you started to enjoy but then feel inadequate to complete. And I say this as somebody who loves playing From Software's Dark Souls, Demon's Souls, Sekiro, all those games, Bloodborne. I have a great time finding challenges to then overcome them. Sometimes I'll make this stupid decision of turning on hard mode before even getting into a new game. I just want that experience of challenge to know that I played it at a slightly harder difficulty because it's fun for me to do that. And in the case of Dark Souls and Demon Souls and Sekiro and all those games, I just know those challenges are all the same for every player, and I like knowing that I did it. I think it's really fun for me, really gratifying. So when you think about a game like Demon Souls, which is difficulty embodied in a video game, you have to wonder, would this game benefit from having a demo, something you can play before buying it? There are so many people I know who, when I bring up the word Dark Souls or Demon Souls, they're like, no, not for me. I'm good. I'm gonna go play my other game in the corner and I'm gonna have a great time with it. And while I think that's a bit of a shame, I also understand the sentiment entirely. Like I said, why would you want to play a game just to beat your head against it? I don't think that's a great time, especially if you don't have a lot of time to play video games in the first place. But on the other hand, would Dark Souls and Demon Souls be Dark Souls or Demon Souls if there was a story mode? I don't think that those games are themselves if they're giving you an easy route. But the biggest issue with that mindset is that it's a little gatekeepy and unfair to people who want to enjoy Dark Souls and Demon Souls but aren't ready for the challenge. Maybe those players would get into it if it was a little more welcoming. Maybe if there was like a ramp up mode or something they can do to learn the game and then take off the training wheels? Not sure. And while I don't have the answers for what developers should do to onboard their players regarding the difficulty of their game, I do think that playable demos need to become more regular so that people can at least try a game out before deciding if they want to really master it. This is obviously not a closed topic. It's, I don't think, gonna ever really have a finite answer, but I'm interested in knowing what you think. How would you handle difficulty in video games? Do you think people just need to get good, or do you think there's something that we can do to make people want to get good and make them want to play these games that are a little challenging? If you like this video, do me a favor and like it, and make sure you subscribe, because I'm gonna start making more videos like this that are just kind of talking about my thoughts. Make sure your notifications are on so that when I do upload, YouTube tells you about it, because I do know that it has a bad habit of not doing so. And the best way to support my channel is by sharing this video with a friend who likes Dark Souls and another friend who hates challenges in video games. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate you taking the time today to hear me talk your ear off about difficulty in video games, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. While I have your attention and we're talking about Returnal, I'm gonna share with you my button layout, so if you wanna try it out, maybe you'll see better success if you're playing the game and having a hard time. I've been doing jumps on L1, I got dash on R1, and I got melee on R3. This is mainly because I play a lot of Destiny, and that's sort of my layout on Destiny, so if you wanna try this game like I've been playing it, keeps your thumbs on the thumbsticks, which means you can move around in the air and shoot in the air, and your mobility will be off the charts. You'll be moving around so fast, Celine won't even know what to do. She'll be spinning, whoa, I'm gonna get motion sickness. Look out, aliens, I'm gonna hurl. And if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go and play through Returnal for 3 hours and probably fall off a cliff and die.